Hey Nancy, Josh Osborne here. I want to spend about the next 5 to 10 minutes with you and kind of jump in and show you some stuff that you guys can start doing online right now to start bringing in new customers for your business, whether that's water damage customers, fire damage, asbestos, whatever it may be. We want to make sure that we can target those people. I'm going to show you exactly what you can do online right now to start bringing in customers for your business. So let's go ahead and jump in. As you guys know, when you type in water damage Denver, you get what we call a map pack right here. First, you get ads. Everybody knows about ads. Really easy to get ads, pay for ads, and you get them. The second step is this map pack, and we'll be going through that a little bit here in a minute. And then the third thing down here is what we call the organic listing. And what a lot of people don't know this, but this organic listing underneath here actually gets the most traffic. So what I did is I went ahead, came in, and you see this prorestoration.com. I went ahead and grabbed them so that I can compare their site versus yours. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go over these three things that we're about to go over. The first one being content, okay? Then once you have the right content, then we go after links, or backlinks to your site. Once we have the right backlinks, we go after what we call citations. And I'm going to break each one of those apart and show you exactly what you can do. With or without me, is if you implement what I'm about to show you, you're going to start ranking, you're going to start bringing in customers. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing I'm looking for here, Nancy, is I'm looking to see how much content you have on your home page. Because Google, they send out robots, right? They send out crawlers, and they crawl that content, and they're reading all that content. And the content that you have on your site tells them whether you should be ranking for a specific keyword or not. And when I go through your site, I can tell that you only have about 500 words of content on your home page, which isn't nearly enough. Google likes to see 1,000 to 1,500 words of content on the home page to direct them. Your home page is essentially supposed to tell Google what your whole site is about, right? So we need to make sure that we have enough content on there to let Google know what our site is about. Content isn't just on the home page, or isn't just in text like you see right here. It's also behind pictures. Like we see a picture here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit save. As you can see, it says home page image. It should say water damage Denver, or excuse me, fire damage Denver. It should say something like that. If you're trying to rank for that, your picture should be saved as that as well, because these robots, when they crawl through, they don't know if it's a picture or not a picture. They're just reading the text. They're just reading the content on that site. So every single one of these look like a picture to me. And see that? Check image 5.1, whatever. You could have a keyword behind every single one of those. So let me see. Save image. Same thing here. You got fire, but it's not fire damage restoration or fire restoration Denver. And it needs to be. Those keywords matter. So you need to get that fixed. Also, I noticed one other thing I want to bring up real quick as we're talking about content, and that's your title tags, or your header H1s is your header. It's like the header pretty much essentially tells Google the gist of what you do, right? And when I throw you into Ahrefs, which is a cool little tool, I pay about $400 a month for it. It allows me to go in and see what kind of content you're being found for, what your site's being found for, how many backlinks you have, what your competitors are doing, etc. But when I throw you in here, it automatically shows me that your header H1 tag of what you're telling Google you are is UXI GDPR, okay? And if we look at like your competitor, right? Here's your competitor site, and here they are in Ahrefs. As you can tell, they're telling Google they're fire and water damage restoration in Denver. So automatically, you guys are already telling Google something that's totally incorrect, right? UXI GDPR. Google doesn't know what that is. You probably know what that is. I don't know what that is as a consumer. And you got to remember that you're talking to consumers here. Let's go ahead and dig through your competitor, right? So we just looked at yours, and let's look at some of your keywords first before we move on. So I can actually dig into your keywords and what you're being found for. Property doctors, which is your name, DRS restoration, property restoration company. And by the way, that's not a good thing to be found for property restoration company, because that's a national keyword. So you might get clients all the way out in New Jersey. You want stuff with Colorado Springs behind it. You want stuff with Denver behind it. You want stuff with Thornton or Arvada behind it. So like this one's a decent one, asbestos removal, Colorado Springs. But as you see right here, you're on the 5th page for that. So that's the closest thing that you have is the 4th to 5th page for a keyword, and it's asbestos removal. The next one is asbestos abatement, Colorado Springs, and you're on the 5th page for that as well. So not a whole lot of traffic coming to you for good keywords, okay? So I guarantee just by looking at this, you're not really pulling in any business. You're probably a referral business by looking at this, and you don't have to be. So the next thing we look at, like I said, is your competitors. If we go through their content, you see content. So they're doing better than you for sure. They're probably sitting at about 750 words. And then let's go and see if they saved their pictures correctly. Job site branded truck, nope. So they didn't either. So we see a few areas that we can automatically start beating them. All we got to do, there you go, fire and water damage restoration, Denver, Colorado, mold removal service. So that's a pretty good keyword, wouldn't you say? So they did some of it. They did some of it correct, and it looks like some of it they did incorrect. See this one? Yeah, Adobe stock. So they're buying stock photos and just saving them. So yeah, so there's area here for us to beat them. Now, when we go in, as you see, they got more keywords, and it looks like they're using those keywords more times on their homepage than you as well. So when we actually go into their website and we go into their keywords and look at them, natural disasters in Colorado, 300 search volume, 1st position. Colorado natural disasters, 350 search volume, 1 KD, or position 1. Let's keep going. Water damage Denver, water damage restoration Denver. You see that? So they got those keywords on their home page. 100 searches a month for water damage restoration Denver, and they're in the #1 position. Water damage Denver, 350 searches a month, and they're in the 4th position right now. Natural disasters in Colorado, 300 searches, and they're in the 5th position. Professional restoration Denver, they're in the 1st position. Water damage restoration Denver CO, they're in the 1st position. So as you can see, this keeps going. Restoration companies in Denver, another 100 searches, they're in the 3rd position. Professional water damage Denver CO, mold remediation Denver CO, 200 search volumes, 8th position. And they're getting traffic from all of this. So you can imagine the type of jobs they're pulling in and day out by doing this, okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was content. Content's huge. In order for us to get you up in this organic section right here where they're pulling all that traffic, we have to get the right content on your site, okay? So you have quite a bit of content that you need to add. 1,000 to 1,500 words on the first page, and then I would suggest adding another 25 pages in the back about fire, water damage, mold remediation, asbestos, etc., and service areas as well. If you are working in Colorado Springs or Nevada, each one of those should have its own page because they have their own keywords. That's the first step I'd like you to do. The next step I want to talk to you about is, okay, so now we got the keywords on our site. Now we want to rank for those keywords, right? We want to go ahead, we added the content, now we want to be #1. We want to beat these guys out. In order to do that, it comes to a thing we call backlinks, or linking, right? And not all backlinks are created equal. So you probably know what a backlink is. It's when one site links to your site, right? So somebody else's site links to your site. And not all links are created equal. Google's really smart nowadays, and so they know that a link from Pizza Hut to you shouldn't matter at all because they know that you're not a pizza company, right? And so they'll disavow that link. They won't even add it. They won't act like it exists for your site. So you got to make sure that you're getting relevant, high-powered links to your site. And you don't want to get these irrelevant ones that you see so many people out there getting. You see people getting their sites spammed because they're going out and they're getting these links from the Pizza Huts or the barber shop or this or that. But you're not a barber, you're not a Pizza Hut, right? So we need to get you relevant links from construction companies, demolition companies, from insurance companies, stuff that matters for your industry. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But right now you have 69 referring domains, and you only have 53, as you can see right here, right? So, and your power is a 26, so you're 26, and your trust is super low. So this is how popular you are in Google. The way that I describe backlinking or ranking on Google is, think of this like a popularity contest, right? Let's go back to high school. We're sitting in the high school. The more kids that point at the popular kid and say, oh, he's cool, check out his shoes, he's cool, it makes him only cooler, right? But then the kid sitting with his glasses on, sitting in the gym, everybody's not pointing at him. Nobody's paying him much attention, right? And that's the way this works. The more links we can get to your site, the more attention Google's going to give you and the higher they're going to get you so that you can start gaining that traffic. It's a relatively easy concept to be able to do, okay? So you have live 53. Let's look at your number one competitor. He has live 119. So obviously we need to go out and get you 50 something more links, right? But not just more links, we need them more powerful. And we can do that by I can go into, this tool allows me to go in and see every single link that your competitor is getting, and we can go duplicate those links for your site. So that will automatically give you power and push you to the top. So that is the second thing I wanted to talk to you about. The third thing I wanted to talk to you about today is your map pack, right? This section right here. Most people think that they automatically just get this, but you can actually alter where you show up in this as well. And how to do that is what we call citations. So in order for you to get found in the top of the map pack for specific keywords is, one, have them on your site, two, point links to your site so that you become powerful, and then three, we need to add this thing called citations. And a citation is your name, address, and phone number exactly as it appears on your GMB or your Google My Business page, and we need to get it out in directories like Yelp, Yext, CityStar, YP, all those directories that are out there. We need to get your exact name, address, and phone number out there as many times as possible. So, these guys that here are in the top, they're usually probably about 120 citations. But just to make this not confusing, I went ahead and I used this tool called whitespark.ca. It's about 20 bucks a month. And it actually tells me how many citations you have, how many citations your competitor has. As you've seen, professional restoration wasn't in the top 3, but they're still beating you everywhere else. So I went ahead and threw them in. And as you can see, they have 62 citations and you only have 45, okay? So we got to get your citations up. And I wouldn't stop at 62. The number 1, number 2 guy, they always have about 120 to 150 citations. So we need to go out and find you citations. It's relatively easy to do. We'll take your top 5 competitors. We'll come in here. We'll come and compare them. I'll hit go. And that's going to give me every citation that you have versus them. So this is you over here to the left. This is them to the right. So as you can see, they have these citations and you do not. So do you see all those citations? All we have to do is go in and get them for you. So we could match their citations super quick. And here's some citations that you have that they don't. But when you add it up, obviously they have more citations than you. But we can come in here and any citation that you do not have, that they do, we can go and duplicate those for you as well, which is going to get you up to the top for the map pack, okay? And that's the map pack right here. So 3 things we went over today: content, links, and citations. You absolutely need those. You've seen how much traffic's out there. Just for restoration, just for fire damage, just for asbestos, there's over 1,000 searches a month, and you're not getting any of them from online. So you might be getting referrals. Your business probably does pretty good. As you know, and I know, water damage is a pretty good business. I've worked with a few companies that do traveling water damage. So like when a storm happens, I'll kick Facebook ads off for them and bring them in tons of leads out in certain areas. So I know there's good money there. Your business is probably doing okay without it, but your business would really blow up if you take over this online market. So that, and then one more thing I want to talk to you about real quick. I came in here and was just looking at your map pack. This is your map pack right here, or what we call a map pack at your Google My Business page. And as you can see right here, fire damage restoration service in Denver. And when we actually come in here and look at, let's go water damage. So when we actually come in and look at water damage and we look at the top businesses in water damage, every single one of them, let's touch this guy, every single one of them is listed under water damage. So you're listed under fire and they're all listed under water damage. I don't know if you see that. So we need to change out your business listing to water damage because it probably gets more searches than fire, right? And we can come in and look at fire too. I pulled up fire just to see if I could find you in here, and I couldn't find you in here. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over with you today, is those things there. If you need help doing this, you can find me. You can learn more about me at joshuatosborne.com. You can also go to Mr. and Mrs. Leads.com. Either one of those is good. If you want my personal cell, you can hit me up right here at 719-505-6065. And once again, my businesses are Mr. and Mrs. Leads, Joshua T. Osborne. I have quite a few businesses that you can look me up from, but these two would be easy to reach me. My cell number is right there for you to reach me if you need me. Go ahead and give me a call, and I can help you with anything. Thank you, and have a good day, Nancy.